He is a world-leading educator and motivator for uplifting communication in your sales, teamwork, and leadership, which I think also could be uplifting in your everyday life too. That's just my add-in. Okay, he's actually going to thank you very much. He's going to share his unique practical insights how to move forward in your career, business relationships, and life through the power of conscious communication. Okay, you know, obviously, you know, there's certain painful life-changing events that's like happening. So he is here to uplift them with a communication, no matter what the situation. I've kind of, you know, if you hear any likes or you see any page links that someone has hit on, it's probably been me, because I've had the luck of hearing, you know, the comments. His audience tells him how he's passionate, charming, and he does speak from the heart. So that's why when we had we were so lucky to hear him speak at another occasion, and we reached out to him, he said right away, no problem. He would love to speak with us. And so he says he can, you know, the crowds say he can move mountains. He's part of the National Academy of the Best-Selling Authors, a global conference speaker, TEDx speaker. I love TEDx. I could, like, you know, podcast TEDx till the cows come home. As I say, I just love listening to TEDx. That's my personal. And he's a premier mentor, trainer, and coach. He has 25 years of experience and has spoken over in 21 countries. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This is the man who's on a quest to ace your communication. So will you if we could all sort of clap, this would be the moment. So here you are, Rohit Bassi. Hi, Rohit. Sorry, it was a long spiel, but it was really worth it, and I'm so excited that you're here. So, so go ahead. What can we be expecting today?
This is an amazing quote by Viktor Franklin. The more one forgets himself by giving himself to a cause to serve or another person to love, the more human he is. This is Viktor E. Frankl. Now, if you've not heard about Viktor E. Frankl, he's the man who wrote this book, Man's Search for Meaning. And he was in the World War II concentration camps. He lost everything in life, everything whatsoever. And one of the things which he realized while he was in the camp was people who were able to pass through that traumatic time is because they found meaning in their suffering. That's what they did. And for most of us, it's very difficult to say, how can we have meaning in our suffering? And this is one of the reasons why I started looking at what as a whole is known as conscious communication. And there are three things which I tend to do on a daily basis to be conscious about what I'm doing. You will see this during my presentations, you see it in my emails, you see it during my videos as well. And these are the three things which I tend to do. And that is literally, if my screen is not working, hold on a minute. Yeah, I say thank you, having an attitude of gratitude. The other thing is peace be with you. This is for myself or someone else. And amor fati. Amor fati literally means love your destiny, love your fate. And these are three tools which I use on a regular basis to uplift my consciousness, to be more conscious in the way I communicate with myself and with others. For those who are unaware of me, just to make it clear, name is Rohit Bassi. I focus on this domain called ACE Your Communication, and you'll see what I mean by ACE of communication, which in simple terms means conscious communication. Now, let's look a little bit deeper into this. What is this all about? Well, there's a lot of people going around saying, hey, you got to have gratitude. You got to be thankful for what you want, what you have. We're lucky in this situation. Take it easy, have time to relax, spend time with your loved ones, which is absolutely fine. This is perfectly a good time. But then on the other hand, there's some people who are taking this to a big extent, to a very different level. And this is where the celebrity syndrome or the capitalism is coming into play, where this is a journalist, a columnist in The Guardian, Arwa Mahadwi. She said that, and this is just from one of her articles, which she said, the coronavirus crisis has exposed the ugly truth about celebrity culture and capitalism. The simple reason is, although we're in the same storm, we're all in the same storm, but we're all in different boats. Everyone is in different circumstances. Some are going through a lot of rough patches. Some of us are in a wreck. And the simple reason is it could be because of financial, it could be relationship, it could be many things just multiplying all together. So yes, we're in the same storm. There's no question about it, but everyone is in different boats. And therefore we have to raise ourselves on a conscious level and see what's happening, not look at things from our perspective, but what's happening with other people's life as well. So for them, for someone else to be gratitude might be very difficult at this moment, and harping about being gratitude is not helping them. So we need to be more compassionate towards these individuals as well. And especially people who are on a daily wage, that's a big, big issue because they can't stay home. What do you do with that? And when they do not have any government handouts, how do they live day to day? We all of us in Dubai, most of us are extremely, extremely lucky, extremely fortunate in the position which we are, even though we're at stay at home. But there are other people who are not, whose life are literally at a wrecking stage at the moment. Now, in simple terms, what that means is we're in a VUCA state. VUCA means volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. So uncertainty, crisis, if you join it all together, that's what they call is the VUCA state. Although I would like to say is when we look at this VUCA state, it is affecting our work. So people are getting redundant, people have, their jobs are being cut, businesses, some have been literally closed, and family life is being affected. So this is all what's happening through this situation which we're in. And what that in simple terms is people's health in terms of physical, emotional, mental is being affected. Relationships are being damaged as well. There have been cases across the globe where domestic violence reports have increased. And obviously it's finances as well. So you can see we're in a very tough situation. And for some people, it's much, much tougher than some of us. And this literally means we're in unfamiliar territory. So as soon as we change this, our conscious communication, rather than saying it's uncertain, it's crisis, we need to survive, if we were to just twist it and change it to unfamiliar territory, that means we need to be more conscious of what's happening around us and around the people who are here. So we have this opportunity over here to see how we can actually pass through this unfamiliar territory. No one in this world is certain of what's going to happen. Life is uncertain anyways. And this is a time where we have immense uncertainty going on. So we are in what we are in is unfamiliar territory. In this time and moment, what we can do is look at how we can build our well-being, our resilience and trust. So this is as a whole, as an individual, what we can do. This is not about to do anything with business, but as an individual, as a community, what we can do for our well-being, our resilience and trust. On a business perspective, what can we do in terms of upskilling ourselves in terms of our sales, our teamwork, our leadership? And both of these require us to feel the fear and do it anyway. So yes, we are fearful of what's happening, but taking those small steps, and I'm not talking about massive actions, I'm talking about just taking small steps on a daily basis on how to move forward. Now, what that literally means is if you look at the work of Dr. Susan Jeffers, who wrote the book, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyways, which I've been facilitating for over 9 years, what it means is taking yourself from pain to power. That's pain to power. And this is one of the exercises which you can do is about the different things in your life. It could be health, it could be relationship, it could be finances. You can draw up a scale from pain to power and see where you are on a daily basis and do small actions which can take you to that power point. Because when you're in the power point, you are enriching yourself and you start enriching other people as well. Now, what is conscious communication is a question which people keep on asking. There's different ways I could explain to you what it is. So I'm just going to show you briefly what this is all about. Now, Mahatma Gandhi, the father of the nation in India, he had his 3 monkeys, which were hear no evil, see no evil, and say no evil. So hear no evil, see no evil, and say no evil. Now, if you think about it, that is the crux of conscious communication. let's go a little bit deeper of what it's all about. Now, this is a book by called The User Illusion. And in this book, and it's a very heavy book, it talks about intellect is only conscious of between 15 to 20 bits of information per second out of millions in reaction below its awareness. So what we do on a daily basis, the information is we are only conscious about 15 to 20 bits of information because a lot of the things are happening under us. So this whole book is based on the study by Professor Benjamin Libet. And what that means is what we think we're doing consciously is not necessarily what we're doing conscious. We are not fully aware of what we're doing in terms of our thoughts, our feelings, our actions. Now, what needs to be very, very clear about conscious communication is that it is not about competition. It is about collaborating. So just collaborating with each other. It is not about fake it till you make it. It's about face the situation, faith it, and you will make it. And finally, it's not about the hustle. Hustle means to swindle and cheat. It's simply getting to focus. Yes, you can have diversifications, but focus on what you're doing, whatever you're doing. So if you look at the word conscious, it means knowing or being aware. So you're aware and you know what's happening. So awareness of one's environment, existence, feelings, thoughts, and actions. So you're aware 100% aware of your environment, your existence, feelings, thoughts, and action. And most of us are not, because if you look at the user illusion based on search, we are not in that situation. So we have to raise our consciousness. If you look at communication, it means sending or receiving information or message. So it's a transformation of information. Now, when you combine the both together, what conscious communication means, this is a definition which I've come up. When you communicate to cultivate a nature of serving, supporting, collaborating for the growth of each other by mutually enriching relationships. So whoever you're talking with, whoever you're dealing with, are you serving, are you supporting, and are you enriching each other's relationship, each other's life? And this goes with business as well. It's just not about life, it's business as well, and the work which we're doing. Now, in what this as a whole, I call it ACE your communication. ACE your communication, which is conscious communication, literally means amplify your awareness, your consciousness, and your energy. How I came across this was through this wonderful teacher of mine. His name is Dr. Segu Ramesh, and he's got a book called Awakening the ACE, Awareness, Consciousness, and Energy. And I wanted to see how I can bring this on a day-to-day basis. He's a medical doctor. He's based in Dubai. I talk to him on a regular basis. I've done a number of webinars with him over the past 1 month. But you can easily get into contact with him. Wonderful person who led me to this path of awareness, consciousness, and energy. What it means on a day-to-day basis is amplify your awareness for a given situation and relationship, whatever situation, be it with your family member, be it with work, or be it with someone else, be aware of what's happening around you. Cultivate a consciousness with your message. What that literally means is, how are you communicating in terms of your words, in terms of your body language, and even what's going your internal thoughts when you're talking to other people. Engage in using energy in action that moves you forward. So using words such as crisis, survival is not going to help any one of us at the moment. It basically lowers our energy. Think about the word survival, we start sinking down. So instead of saying, how do I survive this moment? How about changing it to moving your energy? How could I possibly strive and thrive during this moment? It's just a small tweak. This is what all consciousness is all about, is being more conscious in the way you're communicating with yourself and with others. Another doctor, which is Dr. David Hawkins, came up with map of consciousness. And again, if you look at this particular doctor, the way he looks at it, he created a scale. We are either in a fearful state or we are in a loving state. If you look at the lower states, if you look at it, it literally says shame, guilt, anger, pride. These are all fearful states. So we sink ourselves. So we're not in a conscious state. But as soon as we go into courage, this is where the change happens. Move into courage, we go into more of a loving state. And in simple terms, that means is if we are in a fearful state, not in a conscious state, we are contracted, we get more and more stressed. And so we need to be aware on a second by second, minute by minute, are we in that fearful state or are we in that loving state? Because that loving state is going to help us on a day-to-day basis. I'm not talking about 1 year, 2 year, on a day-to-day basis, help us. And imagine if we're doing this on a day-to-day basis, 1 year from now, 2 years from now, how beautiful one's life would be and how everything would be for you, no matter what the situation. So Lao Tzu, in simple terms, says this means is mastering others is strength, but mastering yourself is true power. And that means being more conscious, being ace with your communication. And ace with your communication means not with just someone out there, but with yourself as well, what's happening inside. I said during the description when Diana asked me, okay, what do you want to talk about? I said, I'll talk about the 3 C's of conscious communication. I thought about it, no, I'm going to actually give you 7 C's of conscious communication. And the 7 C's are literally, if you look at it, is clarity. Tolin spoke about having focus, having clarity. Now, clarity doesn't mean that I have to have clarity for the next 1 year, 6 months. It could be the situation we are in, the unfamiliar territory. It could be clarity 1 minute at a time, 2 minutes at a time, 1 day at a time. Because for many people, it's very tough. Having compassion for yourself and other people is very, very crucial. Care and kindness is very, very important at this moment in time. Simple example of this is I called up one of my investments. This is one of my properties. And I asked, look, I need some help in regards to some of the payments. And yes, they said, yes, we can do that. Not a problem. I said, will you be charging me interest in this time where I've gone on this holiday period? And they said, no, we won't be. I called another organization for another one of my other properties about the mortgage, and they said, yes, we can go give you a holiday period, but you will, once a holiday period is finished, you still have to pay the extra interest. And I was like, hold on 1 minute, you do realize what the situation is at the moment? They said, no, this is our policy and that's it. So how can we be compassionate? Compassion, this is, I'm talking about on a business perspective, but on a day-to-day basis, what can you do in terms of compassion? One of the things which I'm doing is if I go out to get my groceries, I will go and get some fruits, drinks, and other goodies for the security guards. They are doing an amazing job taking care of us. So giving compassion towards them. The third is competency. What are you doing about your skills and knowledge at this current moment in time? If you cannot go on a payable online learning program, there is ample amount of free information out there from speakers, trainers, institutes, which you can use to upskill yourself. See, the next one is courage. How are you being courageous? Courageous in the terms of, are you willing to be vulnerable? So vulnerability is something, it's not a matter of you breaking down and crying, but are you willing to be honest with what's happening with you inside? If you are in pain, admit to it, acknowledge it. This is going to help you move. Next is connection. How are you connecting with people around you? And I'm talking now, we can't do face-to-face meetings. We can't do, we can only do these webinars or other calls through online. I'll give an example again. I'll take myself for example. When this started, and for me, it started on the 20th of February. And by the 5th of March, it was very clear for me what was happening, that literally all my business got wiped out. All my business got wiped out because clients called that said, look, we're in a very tough situation. The COVID is stopping our business. And so we cannot take your services currently. Now, I could stop over there and stop connecting with them. No, I'm still connecting with them. And it's not a matter of that I want to get a business with them. It's just, I just genuinely want to know how are they doing? Is there any way I can help with them? And I've created enough content for them so they can take that with them and apply it to their life, to the business, to their relationships. Conviction. Conviction is stronger than confidence. It's great to have confidence, but moving forward, have conviction in whatever you're doing. It could be anything which you're doing, just have that conviction, that belief, things are possible, they're infinite possibilities. And be committed to whatever you need to do. Committed to your family, to your relationships, to your health, to the finances, just be committed. So those are the 7 C's. What in simple terms, if you look at it as in one question is, are you willing to take 100% responsibility of your thoughts, emotions, experiences without blaming? So 100% responsibility. Yes, we know there is a tough situation, it's unfamiliar territory, but are you willing to take 100% responsibility for yourself? But when you do that, it's easier to assist other people and help other people. If you look at the news, you will see there's blame game going from one leader to other. It's their fault, and so there's a lot of hodgepodge happening. And these are organized, these are leaders and institutes which we think about, can we trust them or not? And the conspiracy theories flying around everywhere. So it's like, we don't know what's really going on. It's uncertain. So we have to take 100% responsibility for our thoughts, our emotions, our experiences without blaming anyone else out there. And this means you need to connect the heart, the brain, and the hand. So the heart, the head, and the hand. So the heart is the emotions, the brain is the intelligence, so connect that, and the hands represent the actual actions you need to take. And this could be small, small actions. We're not talking about massive actions over here. The small actions will amount to the massive actions which you want to do. But start with the small actions, and that's about connecting the heart, the head, and the hands. That's what we need to focus on, and that's what conscious communication allows you to do. Now, many people are unaware of what my family life is, and I deliberately bring this picture up because in this situation, I've had some comments, hey Rohit, you're single, it's easy for you, we've got family to take care for. You know, we've got our finances to take care for. You know, it's easy for you. I just take it with a pinch of salt because it's untrue, because that's not the reality. What you see here is my family. The lady in the middle is my beautiful half. And those are my two kids. And when I look at them, there's only one thing which I remind myself is to smile. And this is what I have been helping other people through some of the coaching sessions, some of the talks, complementary talks, which I've been doing, is learn to smile. So what do I mean? And the reason why I'm able to apply this is because I'm looking at conscious communication over here, being ace with your communication. What that literally means is serve and support. What can you do to serve and support yourself and the community around you? It's just not about you, it's serving and supporting yourself and the people around you. Mesmerize. Stay in focus. So that means whatever you're doing, be it for 10 minutes, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, learn to get into focus in that moment. Allow yourself to be in the flow. So mesmerize yourself within whatever you're doing. It could be with your exercise, it could be with your work. It's maybe you're just sitting out in nature. Whatever you're doing, just mesmerize yourself in it. Be in spirit. Reflect on who you are as an individual. See what has triggered you. There are people who love to socialize, and they're finding this time extremely difficult. For me, it's not that tough because of the 9 years. I would say I've been in isolation because of the work which I do. I go to clients, I do my talks, I come back home and I do my research. That's what I do. I like my time. So I'm quite comfortable with it. But a number of people who are extroverts or who are very outgoing, very socializing, they're finding it very difficult to be with their inner self. The next is be in a state of living. For many years, I mean, I think it's been going for a long time, and many speakers, coaches talk about have a goal, have a goal, have a goal. It's great to have goals. It's amazing to have goals. But what's happened is in this life which we're living, we've just become goal orientated. We stopped being a living person. What I mean by that is we stopped being a human being. We're just human doing. We're a human doo-doo. We are not human beings anymore. So that's what we need to be, is in a state of living. And energy, how are you using your energy on a day-to-day basis? What are you doing? Are you using your energy to move forward? Or are you going into the past? Or are you way in the future? Stay in the present. Yes, there are going to be times when you're going to feel it, you are going to feel down. Look at one of the C's in conscious communication. It talks about connection. Make connections with the people who you trust, who you can feel comfortable to, and have the courage to tell them that I'm going through a tough time. That's useful use of your energy rather than actually blocking yourself completely from the rest of the world. So those were the 7 C's of conscious communication. And this is what S.M.I.L.E is, to build that well-being, that trust, and that resilience. And that's for me, finished for the session. Any questions from anyone, please do let me know.
Well, thank you so much. What was my take-home message? Well, lots of take-home messages, was the fact that I'm so happy that you said that we're not all in the same boat. I have been saying that for the last little while myself too. The idea that this is a storm, and it is. Some people have a tree to be under the storm. Some people are in a house. Some people don't have a house. I'm so happy to say that. This is so important that we know that it takes so little to be human, and actually remember that there are people out there. I'll just use an example. There's so much Instagram at the moment where some people are showing what their everyday lives are like. And, you know, it's almost like they're showing that they have a house, there's a little pool in the garden, they're relaxing, they have whatever food they need, they have it all. So it's so lovely to see that you have seen, and you're telling people that there are people that are really suffering right now. And it would just be nice if we could, not nice, it would be just correct if we were correct with people. So genuine. So thank you so much, Rohit. There are quite a few questions. There's one question: how would you suggest we manage between vision, goal, action plan versus S.M.I.L.E, leaving someone without a to-do list?
Okay, so let me make it very clear. When I say living something without a to-do list, I'm not talking about doing a do list. Look at the situation we're in. Many of us are saying, I'm getting calls from people, I'm bored. And I'm like, are you really, really bored? Are you really serious? You're bored? There's so much you can do around the house, such as you can exercise. Look, I'm not a big fan of exercise, but there's something which you can actually take care of yourself. That's actually boosting up your energy, so that you're living in that moment, being in that present. Now, if you look at from a work perspective, yes, there are people and I'm in many ways in a similar situation, is that financially there are some challenges. So on a day-to-day basis, I just sit down, I reflect on what are the possibilities out there for me to do something which is going to help someone, and which is going to allow me to get some income through. Yep. Now I'm doing complementary stuff. There is some paying stuff coming as well, but I'm not looking at it from perspective, I got to have a I got to do this, and this. I'm being very self-compassionate with myself and doing whatever is necessary for that day, for that moment, because this is a time where it's for people, they will get up there. The people who've been calling up, they said, Rohit, I got up at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. I said, okay, that's fine. Shouldn't I feel guilty about it? Shouldn't I feel guilty about it? I feel shameful. Now, if I look at Dr. David Hawkins' scale of map of consciousness, as soon as you're in that guilt and that shame, you're in a fearful state. So the only thing I say is, what is that one thing you can do for yourself that could lift you up into a loving state? Just that one thing. So it could be just get out of bed and make up your bed. If you get out of bed and you don't want to make your bed, at least go and brush your teeth, wash your face. It's just a small action. So this is what I mean by living. You can't have a do-to list. It's not about, life is not about doing. We are human beings. We're meant to be in the flow with everything around us, which we are not, because we're running after things.
Sorry. Fantastic. There actually, there was a hands up from Heba. So Heba, I opened up your mic. So if you'd like to talk, that would be lovely. Go ahead.
Hi, good morning. Can you guys hear me?
Yes. Hi. Good
Hello. Sorry, I
morning.
didn't know my mic was on. I just wanted to say hello to the fellow Canadians and thank you so much for allowing us to have a way to tune in somehow. So I've been enjoying these webinars quite frequently. Thank you for that and for our speakers today. I really do enjoy TED Talks, Rohit, and so you spoke very eloquently about your way of consciousness and communication. And I love that you brought the fact about being too goal oriented. And there's a quote that I have, actually, it's a Facebook banner of mine, like many years ago. And it is, in between goals is a thing called life that has to be loved and enjoyed. And I love that quote because it's not saying to put aside these goals that we want to have. So sure, set some goals. And I think it was Sid, I forgot his last name, but it's such a great quote. And I'll put it up on the screen just because I think it's one that I just remembered. I don't want to dismiss goals, and I'm struggling with my today goal, like today versus 1 month versus 3 months. And so I think the key in this time, and this is just something I think, I'm not sure if everyone feels the same, but it's really about adapting to today, adapting to the situation on a day-to-day basis, and being resilient to this COVID situation. And I don't think in our lifetime, my lifetime certainly, that I've experience something that we're so globally together with. And I think it's empathetic if we use, our human nature, which I think is inherently good. And I think that way because it sort of allows you to care for others and be more kind to others in this situation that we're all facing together. So all I wanted to say is thank you for mentioning that we're not just goal oriented, and that really hit home for me.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, I think both Tolene and both our speakers today have actually said quite a lot about that. And then I totally agree with your banner. It sounds wonderful. Please send it to us. Maybe we could send it out to everyone too. Thank you, Heba. That's lovely.
No problem. Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Take care, love. We do have another question here. It says, I feel I learn a lot more from a difficult life than from a relaxed life. Shouldn't life always be a learning experience regardless of the state? Is it's the stress causing us to learn more?
When I look at it is, when certain things are happening, like when we're in a fearful situation, when we're in a stressful situation, it's a learning for us to uplift ourselves. That means our consciousness is gone down. We need to lift ourselves up again. We are in our lower self rather than in our higher self. So yes, this experience is helpful. And every time we go down into that stressful situation, into that fearful situation, that means we are not conscious of what's happening around us. The moment we start raising ourselves, we are more conscious about how we behave with ourselves and how we start behaving with ourselves. So there are experiences, it's 100% a learning experience, and some of those experiences can be extremely painful, and some of those experiences can be extremely expensive.
Well, I think that, hope that answers pretty much the question. For me, it seems it does. If there's any more questions out there, because we're going to tie up pretty soon, since you might want to get back to your families, your coffee, or maybe you're working at home or taking some time out. If there's any, maybe let's start maybe with Rohit, if there's some kind of, maybe, I don't want to say take home message or something. I mean, we're going to be giving you all the links to all our speakers so you can get in contact with them. And I'm once again putting it out there that thank you so much, because I'm really looking forward to having you back when I want to say when it gets back to normal, but this is normal too, by the way. It's a different type of normal, but it is normal too. So, but I'm hoping that we can have you back, because this is such a lovely sharing tool, and you are today. You have all given back. You, those just by attending, those by speaking, those just by taking the time out, because this is our way to give back. So maybe there's something, Rohit, I'll start with you and then we'll tie up with Tolene. Is there something that maybe that comes to mind that you just want to say as a take-home message, I guess?
Okay, for me, the take-home message is literally ace your communication, awareness, consciousness, and energy. And the easiest way to start with that is have gratitude. Be grateful for whatever is possible. I'm talking about even for a glass of water, be grateful for that. Even for the fact that you are safe and secure. Even for the fact that your loved ones are safe and secure. So just have that gratitude. And a lot of people will talk about being gratitude. Take a piece of paper, start writing out what is your gratitude. It's not necessary. Everyone is unique. We have to remember that. And everyone has their own formula of doing it. The commonality which I see in majority, I'll say all of us, is when we go into the state of gratitude, we start uplifting ourselves. It can be for the smallest of all things. And gratitude can actually get your vulnerability out and release all the pain as well. That's the beauty of gratitude.
Yeah. Yes. Makes total sense. Well, thank you so much, Rohit. I'm so happy, very proud that you stepped up, all of you, for watching and attending today and speaking. The CBC and all our members and sponsors, thank you. This will be an ongoing type of thing. And basically, thank you very much. Thank you, all the participants. Hope to see you soon. No, I hope to see you soon. And for now, we'll keep in touch. Okay, take care of yourself. Don't forget, CBC has your back. We're the voice for all our members. Okay, take care. Have a nice day.
One more thing is,
yes,
I'm going to give you the link for this. So I've got a book called Living Through Self-Compassion, which is currently available free, the ebook copy. So I'll share the link with you and you can share it across all of CBC.
Grazie.
So
sorry, that was my Italian in me. Grazie.